Hi, this is Dr. Gregory Sadler. I'm a professor of philosophy and the president and founder of an educational consulting company called Reason.io, where we put philosophy into practice. I've studied and taught philosophy for over 20 years, and I find that many people run into difficulties reading classic philosophical texts. Sometimes it's the way things are said or how the text is structured. But the concepts themselves are not always that complicated, and that's where I come in. To help students and lifelong learners, I've been producing longer lecture videos and posting them to YouTube. Many viewers say they find them useful. What you're currently watching is part of a new series of shorter videos, each of them focused on one core concept from an important philosophical text. I hope you find it useful as well. In section 2 of his article, Is Patriotism a Virtue?, Alasdair MacIntyre is going to examine what he calls a common conception of morality. A little bit later, he'll call it a liberal conception. We should read that in sort of a very broad cultural sense rather than an explicitly political sense. A conception of morality in which patriotism is really ultimately going to be construed not as a virtue, not as something neutral, but actually as a vice. So how do we get to that? He says that the presupposition of this thesis is an account of morality which has enjoyed high prestige in our culture. What does he mean by that? Not just American culture, but Western culture in general for several hundred years. According to that account, he says, to judge from a moral standpoint is to judge impersonally. It's to judge as a rational person would judge independently of his or her interests. So you set aside your own interests in order to do that. Affectations, your sentiments, and social position. It's tougher to do than you might think. And he says that to act morally is to act in accordance with such impersonal judgments. So to think and to act morally require a person to abstract themselves from all social particularity, who you are in society, and also from partiality. You can't say, well, I'm going to favor my own class, the people from my region, people who look like me, or even people who don't look like me. You could go to the other extreme. You need to be impartial and universal about it. So he says, okay, if you look at it this way, you can see there's going to be a conflict with patriotism. Why? Well, because patriotism requires particular devotion to one's country, and that means favoring one's own country over other countries, people coming in from other places. So it's not going to be compatible with any sort of genuine morality. The patriot may say, I'm being a moral person by being a patriot. This conception of morality is going to say, no, you're not. Why? Well, patriotism requires me to exhibit peculiar to my nation and you to yours. It requires me to pay attention to particularity, right? Contingent social facts as where I was born, what government ruled over the place at that time, who my parents were, who my great-great-grandparents were, and so on, as deciding for me the question of what virtuous action is, at least insofar as it is the virtue of patriotism that's in question. So that's going to be a big problem, and that can be starkly put. Then he says, maybe there's a way around this. And this is what he says a lot of liberal moralists will actually do. So maybe patriotism and all other particular loyalties of that sort could be restricted in their scope so that their exercise is always within the confines imposed by morality. So you got patriotism on a lower level, morality on a higher level. Patriotism would be nothing more than perfectly proper devotion to one's own nation, which wouldn't be allowed to violate constraints set by the impersonal moral standpoint. So, my country, but you won't say my country right or wrong, because as soon as it's wrong, well, that's when morality kicks in, and you say, no, my country has to be right. We're not just going to call it right. We have to obey what morality requires. And he says this is the kind of patriotism professed by certain liberal moralists who are often indignant when it's suggested by their critics they're not patriotic. To those critics, the patriotism that they're exhibiting seems, as he's going to say, emasculated. Why? Because in some of the most important situations of actual social life, either you get a conflict between the patriotic standpoint and the moral standpoint, a real conflict, or you've got to water down the patriotism to such an extent that it's tough to say what it actually even means. So that's not going to be a real resolution. And he says there's some reasons for this. And he talks about two kinds of circumstances that lead to conflict between these moral points of view. So one of them has to do with scarcity of essential resources. So he talks about historically scarcity of land suitable for cultivation and pasture. And then he suggests perhaps in our own time, in the 1980s, fossil fuels. Could be internet access in our time. Could be AI technology. It could be all sorts of things, right? But there is a scarcity of essential resources. And he says that what your community requires as material prerequisites for your survival as a distinctive community, not just mere survival, but thriving as a community and your growth into a distinctive nation may be exclusive use of the same or some of the same natural resources as my community also requires. So we're going to be in conflict about that sort of stuff, and we do see that that has been the history of the human race for quite a long time, right? When such a conflict arises, how should we deal with it? Well, the patriot is pretty straightforward. My country gets the stuff it needs, and if your country gets deprived, too bad for your country. You go ahead and be a patriot on your side. The impersonal moral viewpoint says, well, we have to have an allocation of goods. Each individual person counts for one and no more than one. You can't advance the interests of your community, so there's going to be a big conflict there. What about differences between communities over, as he's going to call it, the right way to live? What we might call the tables of virtues, to use a Nietzschean phrase, right? He says that communities do, in fact, disagree about this. So, it's not just that different people have different ideas of what filial piety might look like, if that's indeed a virtue. He talks about things in much more, straightforward ways. So the Pax Romana from time to time required the Roman Imperium to set its frontiers at the point at which they could be most easily secured. Okay, so in order for that community, that big, Roman Empire to keep on thriving, what did that mean? Well, it meant taking over parts of the Gauls, or the Germans, or the Britons, or the Dacians. I mean, the Dacians, it was actually, we want their gold, right? So it could be all sorts of people. Mesopotamia, we got to keep those Persians out, and we'll fight over that area all the time. And he says the British Empire, no different. We could think about America and its obsession with national security and bases everywhere in a similar way. And he says this requires infringing on the territory and independence of other peoples. And some of these peoples actually regarded raiding the territory of their traditional enemies as an essential constituent of the good life. So how do you adjudicate between these? And he says, from the impersonal moral standpoint, understood as proponents of
philosophical modern liberalism, you're supposed to have neutrality not only between rival and competing interests, but conflicting ways of life. Each individual is to be left free to pursue in his or her own way that way of life which they judge to be best, while morality, by contrast, consists of rules which, just because they are such that any rational person, independently of their own interests or point of view, would assent to them, are equally binding on all persons. So when you get conflicts between nations or other communities towards which you may feel or exhibit patriotism, that is going to end up being a problem from the perspective of liberal morality, right? So once again, we get a conflict. Morality will be viewed as impersonal. Patriotism necessarily, as he's going to call it, partisan or particular, or we might say partial to its own group, its own nation, its own ethnos. So that is going to be a central problem, and he's going to single out 5 features of this conception of morality that make it particularly difficult to deal with in this respect. So the first thing is that morality is understood as rules that any reasonable person should be able to assent to. The second is that morality is not a representative or expression of any particular interest, right? So it has to be neutral between rival and competing interests. Third, it also has to be neutral between rival ways of living. Fourth, the units that are being counted are individual human beings, not groups, families, communities, or anything like that, except for as aggregates. And then finally, the fifth thing, the standpoint, ideally, should be the same for all moral agents, right? So it's independent of any social particularity. And he says what morality is providing are standards by which all actual social structures can be judged, including that of the nation, including what you would feel patriotism to. And that means that patriotism, from this point of view, is not only going to fail to be a virtue, it's actually going to be the opposite of a virtue. It's going to be treated as a vice. Now, he concludes by saying the representatives or proponents of this, modern liberal conception of morality as impartial often frame it as if, well, this is the way you have to understand morality. And you could think about utilitarianism, you could think about Kant, you could think about contractarianism, you could think of all sorts of different arrangements. And MacIntyre says, well, those aren't the only possible points of view, right? He says, is this the only possible way to understand morality? As a matter of history, the answer is clearly no. The understanding of morality invaded post-Renaissance Western culture at a particular point in time as the moral counterpart to political liberalism and social individualism, and we probably need to consider some alternative points of view. But if we do look at it from this point of view, then patriotism is necessarily going to turn out to be a vice.